What is up, everybody? Steve here. I hope you're doing well. This could lead to more devastation in the housing market as well as our economy altogether. One of the largest pension funds in the United States reported its first loss since the 2009 Great Financial Crisis. The California Public Employees Retirement System, also known as CalPERS, has posted a loss for the fiscal year 2021 to 2022, the biggest U.S. pension fund said in a statement. On a preliminary basis, the fund generated a net return of a negative 6% on its investments for the 12-month period ending June 30th. At the end of the period, CalPERS assets stood at $440 billion, down from $469 billion at the end of the previous fiscal. Now, I'll put this link in the description for you guys as well, but somebody from the pension system stated this is a unique moment in the financial markets, and we've seen a deviation from some investing fundamentals. For instance, our traditional diversification strategies were less effective than expected, as we saw both public equity and fixed income assets fall in tandem. Now, I did another video a while back after reading Robert Kiyosaki's book, Who Stole My Pension? And if you guys have not watched that video, I highly encourage it. I'll put it in the description for you guys below as well, because it is terrifying. But basically, a lot of these pension systems are mismanaged, and he basically goes on to say that a lot of them have been robbed over the years. He was actually hired to do forensics on the accounting in a lot of these pensions, and it's very unfortunate, but a lot of people took advantage of these pension systems, not just recently, but over the last decades. So now, with a lot of asset classes going down in value, a lot less income coming into them, I believe we're going to see a lot more turmoil in the pension systems, which is really going to have a devastating effect on people on fixed income and retirees. Now, according to data from Roommate and Housing Services, spareroom.com, the number of adults who are 50 who are living with roommates has grown almost twice as fast as any other age group. 1 in 5 of them is living with a roommate for the first time. This is exploding. I watched another video. It was a news article or a news video on this, where basically it's just over the last 12 months, it's just exploded, where people need somebody else to move in and become roommates to offset the expenses, and it is beneficial for both parties because they can lower their housing expenses. A recent report from the AARP citing data from the Indeed employment website found that 1.7 million Americans who were retired a year earlier have returned to the workforce. We're seeing a lot of this, again, people on fixed incomes, especially with inflation, the cost of everything rising. People just cannot afford their basic needs, and you're starting to see a lot more retirees go back to work. I'm seeing it a lot out here, especially a grocery store here locally. It's called Publix. We're seeing a lot of elderly people come into the workforce again, and it's because they need to make extra money. I think this should be just a wake-up call for a lot of people who have pensions, who are relying on pensions, whether you currently have one right now or if you're still in the workforce and you're anticipating on relying on that pension for your future income. I think this needs to be a wake-up call for a lot of people, because putting your money in somebody else's hands can be extremely scary. And again, I'm not a financial advisor in any sense, but I would be doing a handful of things. For one thing, I'd be lowering my cost of living. I would figure out how to house hack. I love that these people are figuring that out later on in life as well, where they're getting roommates, and those roommates are offsetting their expenses. Figure out ways now that you can start paying your mortgage off where you're going to live for the future. I think that's huge. The cost of living, if you can bring that down substantially, that's going to reap big rewards in the future. And one of the main largest cost of living indicators is where you live. So if you're able to reduce that cost to near zero, then you guys are going to be very much better off in the future. And then, as always, is there other ways that you guys can make money on the side or passively, or other assets like stocks that provide dividends, or maybe even income producing real estate? Anyway, take a look at that video that I have on Robert Kiyosaki's book, Who Stole My Pension. I think you guys would get a lot out of it if you guys are in the pension system, and I appreciate you being with me here today. Thanks a lot.